So, yeah, so like I said, my name is Julie, and I'm here to talk to you about the different programs that we have. So the first one is the Hatlen Center, which is very close to OCB. We're about 20 minutes from OCB. And this is a full immersion program. This is apartment living. You're going to get real life experience here. Right now, there's 78 units in the apartment, and Hatlen, we actually rent 6 student apartments, and then we have 2 admin apartments. So we're all in the apartment complex together. And like I said, this is real life experience. This program is perfect for folks that are looking to maybe go into college or looking to go into the workforce after high school, or after situations change in your life. So the way it works is that I also run the Davidson program in down south, and the major 2 differences between the 2 programs is that Hatlen is one-on-one instruction. So it's kind of like a college schedule where you're not going to be technically in class from 9 to 4. We have classes from 9 to 4, but there's going to be times where there's going to be holes in your schedule. And for those holes, we actually want you to take things that you might have learned previously in that week or in that month and practice those skills during that time. This is a huge transition for folks that are transitioning out of high school, because they're so used to, being told, this is the class you go to from 8 to 2:30, and you're pretty much told what to do. But in real life, as an adult, there's times where you might have some downtime, and like you guys are all talking about being parents. I'm a mother of 4. There's always something to do for me. So that's like laundry, or making dinner, or prepping meals. There's always something to do. So we try to incorporate that into the holes that you have in your schedule. So what we do is we provide O&M, living skills instruction, which happens in your apartment. And the other thing too is we don't have a cafeteria. Your cafeteria is your kitchen. So, I think that this scares a couple of people when they first tour Hatlen, but nobody ever starves at Hatlen. We all eat very well at Hatlen. We learn how to make really good meals at Hatlen. So you have your one-on-one instruction in your kitchen, your living skills, care of clothing, cleaning your house, toilet cleaning, things like that. That's all one-on-one instruction in your apartment. We also provide technology training, which is one-on-one. Our tech coordinator, his name is Aqrp, and he actually is a trainer for CSUN. So he's actually training the teachers that teach technology in the schools of California. So to be taught by him is it's pretty credible, because he's teaching teachers on how to work with people with visual impairments and all the new and up and coming programs. So you get him one-on-one along with his staff. We also have Braille that we provide, and we also provide financial management. And financial management is a huge component at Hatlen, because here you actually need to pay rent. This is, like I said, this is real life experience. So in order to come to Hatlen, you have to be a client of Department of Rehab, and you have to be collecting Social Security. So what we do is when you get to Hatlen, we go with you to Social Security officer, we call them these days, and we let them know that you're living on your own. And that usually gets people the full blind rate, which right now it's $1,024, I believe. And then majority of DOR counselors will send a maintenance and training check for $150. So you have about $1,150 to budget with for the month. Since I started Hatlen, I changed the model a little bit. It used to be 2 people to an apartment, but because the cost of living in California is so high, we're doing 3 people to an apartment. So there's like a larger bedroom, which is the master suite, where there's 2 people that share that room, and that rent is $430 a month. And then there's a smaller bedroom, which someone will be in that room by themselves, and that's $530 a month. So your rent is anywhere between $430 and $530 a month. And then on top of that, we teach you how to split utility bills. We help you set up Venmo accounts or Zelle accounts. Everyone, we get everyone hooked up with their own checking account if they already don't have one. Some people, while they're at Hatlen, they can also attend a local college. It's called Contra Costa College. And we introduce them to, the disability office there, kind of get them in the groove of going to college and doing that kind of stuff. So it works out really well. And then some people sometimes after 4 p.m., they might want to pick up a little part-time job. So we can help people kind of create that model for them if that's what they want to do. And then we also provide some recreational stuff. So I know on Wednesday nights, a lot of students they'll go to BORP and they are all in a goal ball league. So we try to incorporate recreation and health and fitness. So it's a great program. The program is super individualized because we provide one-on-one training. It's geared just for that person. So if you're looking for individual training and to brush up on skills, it's a great program to look at. I also provide services down south. This program is a little bit similar to OCB. It's more of a dorm-like setting. There is a cafeteria that you have access to, but we also provide their Braille, technology, O&M, and living skills. Those are all more like group classes, but small group classes. And then on the weekends in the dorm, it's kind of cool because, it's good to always learn how to cook for multiple people. So what we do is in the dorm, if you're willing to, while you're there, what they do is they'll take turns and they will cook family style meals on the weekends. And then the student gets to kind of pick and choose what kind of meal they want to serve. And they serve, they're able to make a meal with another person for up to like 25 people. And so it's a really good skill to learn. People love doing it. It also scares a lot of people, but we don't force you guys to do it. So both programs are accepting applications right now. We do have a slight waiting list for both programs. So if you're interested, most likely you would start anywhere between like August or September. But great residential programs. Both programs are about a year long. Depending on your skill level. There's some people that just come for 6 months. So it just kind of depends on the skill level and what you're looking to achieve. And then just to put it out there, because it sounds like there's some some young adults on the call, I should say. We are also providing a program called WRAP this summer. It's a workforce readiness academic probation program. And it's actually going to be taking place at the Cal State campus in LA. We partnered with the College of Education there, and the students are going to be, the students that are allowed to go are anywhere from 16 to 25, and they're going to be staying in the South Village residential dorm. It's an amazing dorm. It's brand new. It's a 6-week structured program, and we're going to be completing the practical steps required to apply for jobs, match their skill sets and their interests, and be able to practice independent skills on a college campus. The WRAP program will have the entire floor dedicated to just our program. And all the students will have, their own, like their share a restroom and showers and things like that. But the classrooms are amazing. There's like a little community area where you can go purchase food and snacks, and it's just going to be awesome. We're going to be partnering too with the local TVIs and O&Ms on campus during the day. So it's just a great program to check out. For that one too, you also need to be a client of Department of Rehab. That program will take place on June 19th and will run through June 30th. And like I said, it's for folks anywhere between 16 and 25. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are the 3 programs I have going on this summer. We also provide employment training and skills down in LA. And then we also have an assistive technology class that if you just need to brush up on ATT skills for like a job or something, if your DOR counts, you have to be a client of DOR, and then you can attend, for so many hours of ATT training if you just need to brush up on some ATT skills. So we have a lot going on. We're very excited for the summer. We're excited for RAP. We're excited to work with the Cal State LA program. So I look forward to hearing any questions, or I can also put my information in the chat along with my cell phone number and email.
Awesome. Do we want to just wait until both of you have described your programs before we open it up for questions? Is that the easiest? Okay.
Yeah, because there might be some similar questions, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of, as you'll hear, a lot of overlap with my presentation. So as Julie said, we are both immersion programs. OCB, for people that knew OCB in the past, we know we are no longer a 6-month to 9-month program. We are a 12-week, very concentrated, fully immersive program. So with that, we are a dormitory setting. We do have a cafeteria. And the reason we moved to the 12-week program was, like a lot of other programs, was with COVID. Like everywhere else, we closed the dorms and did the distance instruction for about 5 months, and then we reopened in September of 2020, because what we found is the distance instruction just is not conducive for the subject matter. So we had to do a few things to make sure to keep everybody safe. Hold on. Hello? You guys there?
We can hear you, but there's a little bit of a reverb, weird sound.
Somebody sent a message, right? What's that?
Sorry, I was sending links. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so Jaws was going right in my ear when I was in the middle of talking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. So COVID happened, and we pivoted from, being a 6 to 9 month program to a 12-week program. And what that allowed us to do is, in the dormitories, instead of 30 students, people sharing rooms, it was 1 student per room. So we have 16 students in each cohort. So we're a cohort system now, where everybody starts on a certain date and everybody ends on a certain date. And there are occasions, because one of the questions that people raise right away, they said, well, 12 weeks is not long enough. And for some students, that's true. But for other students, the 3-month program is exactly what they need. They need to get in and get a ton of Braille technology, mobility, DLS, all of that stuff, and then get back out and go to college. So for the students that 12 weeks may not be quite enough time, we assess on an individualized basis. And if they need an additional 12 weeks of training, we talk about that with them and the instructors, and we go from there. So we're very aware of that. But what it's allowed us to do is have a smaller class size. So mobility's always been one-on-one, but now Braille, you'll have 1 other student in the class, top 2 students in the class with 1 teacher, and it's 5 hours per week. So you're getting Braille every day. Computers is the same setup. You'll have 1, maximum 2 students in the class with the instructor. DLS now is one-on-one, and DLS, it just depends on your skill set and your experience level as to how many hours you'll get per week. We also are very individualized depending on the student's needs, their skill set, their experience. We'll get people that are very advanced at daily living skills. They might get 1 class. Someone's a beginner, they probably will get 3 classes per week. So we assess that before they come in and place them, appropriately. Cooking is 2 2-hour classes per week. Everybody has their own kitchen, and all the classes, the main focus is A, preparing people to be independent, B, getting them ready to get back out into the workforce. So we're a pre-employment training program. So all those skills that you need, computers, how to take care of yourself, how to do your laundry, all those skills you have to have under your belt before you go to college. That's what we focus on when students are there. So it's It's 12 weeks of lots of homework, because as you can imagine, when you're trying to learn, and of course, not everybody learns everything there is to learn with computers, and you know, anybody will tell you that about adaptive technology. You're not going to learn every last piece of it, but we do get a solid foundation with Microsoft Word. We do JAWS, we do the Windows platform, Fusion, Zoom Text. So whatever the software is that the student is working on, we try to cater everything towards them going to school or going back to work. So all of the Word formatting, editing with Word, Excel, PowerPoint, learning Canvas, all those file management, all those skills that you need for school or work, we emphasize that very much so in the computer class. Braille does what it says, Braille, but we also have not half of Braille, but a piece of the Braille curriculum focuses on some foundational skills, which I kind of call real world Braille application. So teaching people how to label personal items that are in their wallet or in the household, could be file folders. So skills that will allow you to be more organized in your living space. And that's a big topic that we teach in all of the classes, is labeling and organization. And that one goes into daily living skills, into cooking, mobility, all of the classes. And that gets, emphasized from all the different teachers. So mobility is anywhere from 6 to 8 hours of training per week. Built into that is an hour of iPhone instruction, focusing mainly on the GPS apps, but some basic iPhone skills for people to get them up and running so that they can use their iPhone for taking Uber or taking Lyft or using the apps for getting around. So we try to build 1 2-hour lesson into the mobility class per week so that they can do a longer trip. I don't know if people know about Albany or Berkeley, that area. It's a really good area for taking buses, Bart, a lot of businesses to go to. So there's a lot of opportunities to check out different types of intersections, and it's a good setting for learning mobility. And we start, like Julie says, we individualize, we meet people where they're at. Some people come with a ton of mobility experience, and some people, they've never learned how to use the cane. So we see all different types of learners, and we meet them where they're at. And when they're ready to go to the next step, we push them to the next step, and so on. So our gym is something that the mobility teachers will give instruction to the students on how to operate all the machines in there. It's a very nice facility, has a variety of treadmills, elliptical machine, exercise bike. It's a really nice gym. So we hope that people take advantage of it when they're there, because it is a nice gym. The cafeteria is just that. We provide food for the students. They do have a dorm kitchen. If they don't like what's being served, we let them know. You can go to the local Trader Joe's or the grocery store that's nearby and buy stuff and store stuff in the refrigerator. We have a few basic cooking pieces of equipment in the downstairs dormitory kitchen, an electric skillet, crock pot, microwave. So they do have the opportunity, if they don't want to eat what's in the cafeteria, or if they just want to practice the skills that they're learning in cooking, they have that opportunity. So the dorms has a dorm counselor that is there around the clock 24/7, and they are a great resource for assisting students with homework, iPhone, any emergency type of situations that pop up. There's dorm counselors there, so there's always someone there, and is always there to basically support what we do there, whether it be in the classroom or just talking to them about what they're going through. We have a rehab counselor full-time on campus, and that person works directly with the students rehab counselor discussing their progress, their next steps after OCB. They conduct small support groups. They have a women's group that they have once a week. They have a men's group. And then they also conduct one large group with all of the students, and they cover different topics, everything from having maybe a guest speaker on, blind work expenses, or just the resources that are out there in the community. So our rehab counselor is really involved with the students, and they are like the direct link between the students, myself, students, and the teachers. They're there to kind of track the progress of the students, help them if they hit any barriers along the way to overcome those barriers to be successful, and not have a plan for the student, but assist the student with getting a plan for when they leave OCB to go to college, or it could be maybe go back to work, so that they have something to do when they leave there. We really don't like it when people leave and then they go home and they don't take the training and put it into use. And then 4 years later, they want to come back for more training because they haven't put it into practice. So our rehab counselor is really vital to that. So, and we do trips. We're doing a kayak trip in June, actually, with the students, an overnight trip. And we do river rafting trips and snow trips. Hopefully we'll do snow trips this year. We get enough snow. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I know it's a lot of details in a short amount of time, but
Great. Thank you.
yeah. And one other thing is, and Julie and I always, I'm sure Julie tells students the same thing when they tour her program. When people tour OCB, you have to have a DOR counselor, but when you come check out our program, we highly encourage you to go check out all of the programs and pick whatever is best for your needs. Because, we don't get any money for you coming to OCB. We all, and I'm sure Julie's the same thing. We just want what's best for the individual consumer, and that for them to pick something that's going to work for their individual needs.
Yeah, and I know, there's some folks calling from Sacramento. If you do want to look at both, Eric, I haven't really actually talked to you yet, Eric, but
yeah,
it works out really well where they might come to us like at 10:30 in the morning and then go to OCB at 1 or opposite. So we try to work it out so that you can look at both programs in the same day. For sure.
That's ideal. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the one thing too that has come up is, with Hatlen and Davidson, we are requiring vaccinations. So I don't think, Eric, you guys are not requiring that at this time, right?
No, DOR does not. So we follow the California Department guidelines, and DOR does not require that.
Okay. We are just requiring it. We only because down in LA, we do have some children's programs. So we want to just keep the children safe. And then just as far as like keeping staff and stuff, we are requiring it at Hatlen. So for instance, I have some clinics there. I have a booster clinic coming up for those who want boosters. We're not requiring boosters, but we are definitely requiring COVID vaccinations at this time. So yeah. So do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, guys, don't be shy.
Are there any fundamental differences in approaches between the two centers? Other than one is more like, say, having an apartment, the other one isn't?
Yeah, Julie can answer this her way. OCB is a little more structured. There's more classes in each day, every day. That's, I don't think, a philosophical difference. We have 4 full-time mobility teachers and a part-time mobility teacher, 2 Braille instructors. We're working on getting our second computer instructor. So that's not necessarily a difference. Obviously, the Hatlen Center, it's a little more of the real world experience because you're living in an apartment, and I can speak to that because I went to the program. So, you got a chance to put some of the things that you learn into effect right away. So that, I would say, that's probably the biggest difference. As far as the subject matter, we pretty much, teach the same skills. We want people to be able to independently do things for themselves, whether it be mobility, braille, cooking, cleaning, or, whatever the computers.
Yeah, I mean, I think the major two differences between Hatlen and OCB and Davidson down in LA is that Hatlen's one-on-one instruction also.
Yeah. And our classes are one-on-one, except for, like computers and braille might be two students in the class. So.
This is Miguel.
Hi, Miguel.
So I just have a couple of questions. Can the student use, or the option to use learning shades? You guys automatically do that, or
the blindfold, you saying?
Yeah, the blindfolds. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we kind of use that. It's an individualized basis, so it's for some students that have like RP and they have blindness at night. It's kind of a good tool to use to kind of simulate having no vision. But yeah, the mobility teachers and the DLS teachers, I would say they use it the most. The cooking teacher will turn off the lights. So it's really, it's individualized because, we get it. Some people, it's going to cause a pretty high level of an anxiety if you slap a blindfold on and you're out crossing streets. Now, they wouldn't do that right away, of course, but for some people, it's an individual choice, but it is used at our school.
And we also use it at our school too,
Yeah.
but it's more of the client's choice. I mean, if you're going to have if your vision is progressively going to get worse, we definitely encourage it. But we definitely don't force it.
Okay.
Yeah, we like,
And
for
also,
example, in the Braille class, of course, the teachers don't want you using your eyes to read Braille, so you're cheating yourself at that point. And they will remind you, that both of our Braille teachers don't have any sight, but they know when someone's got their nose, down at the Braille paper, so they'll remind them, but they're not going to sit there and hound them the whole time.
I had another question. Do you guys connect with any colleges as far as like what they're using at their sites? And because I know for me, when I started, I guess e-readers are really big in colleges. Do you guys connect with them, and do you guys help students find the right e-reader for the program that they're using, like JAWS or Zoom Text?
So our QRP will assist with like teaching students about the FAFSA or teaching them about the disabled student services, the alternative media type stuff that you'll be encountering when you go to college. And our computer instructor, she tries to keep the stuff very current and topical. So we try to stay very current.
Yeah, same with us. And if it's something that, like, let's say you came to Hatlen, Miguel, and you wanted to learn that, we can definitely, because it's so individualized, we can definitely incorporate that.
What does AQRP mean, Eric?
Qualified Rehab Professional. It used to be what they called senior vocational rehab counselors. They kind of, I guess, came up with a new acronym for it. It took me a while to get used to it as well.
That's a new one on, I think, all of us on the call.
Yeah.
I like how you stated that, Eric, that that really, when you're peeking, you're cheating yourself, because that's a really good point to make. And that's what I like to say to my students, that it really, if you're not focusing on your non-visual skills, the only one that really loses in the end is you.
No, it's really interesting. You see, I would say, especially the computer class, where we'll get students that have some decent usable vision, and they're using Fusion, which is the hybrid software of JAWS and Zoom Text. And then you'll have someone that has no sight using JAWS, and the person with sight is struggling to navigate around because they're trying to use their vision, and it'll usually dawn on them about 3 or 4 weeks in, like, I want to learn those keystroke combinations. I want to be able to get around this screen super duper fast.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it really is, OCB is what you put into it, and I'm sure Hatlen's, whatever you put into the program, whether it's you cheating, reading the dots with your eyes, that's what you're going to get out of it. But whatever you put into it time at night on the homework and getting out and practicing your cane skills and using Braille in real life situations, like labeling a credit card or labeling your clipper card or whatever the case may be, just really taking the tools that we're teaching and putting them into real world application.
Yeah. And just like in life, guys, in high school, you had to go. In junior high and high school and stuff, they made you go. But in this stage of your life and in college, you're there because you want to be there. So you're going to get out of these programs what you put into it.
Yeah. And we do treat our program a little bit like it's a job. We do tell students the training is the reward, that's the pay. But we have expectations that you show up to class on time, kind of like a job, show up without bedhead, not rolling out of bed at 7:55 for a class that starts at 8 o'clock, and you're got your sweats on, a t-shirt on. So we really try to model professional behavior there at work, and also install some good habits for people, being ready for class, your homework done, being ready to go.
Yeah, I can piggyback on that too, Eric. So we do the same. So, I think some students, when they're at Hatlen, they get a little lax because, they're paying rent, that's their apartment. And, even though you're in your apartment, when your ILS instructor comes to work with you, we don't necessarily want you guys in pajamas. We look at it as a work thing too. If things don't go your way, like the other day, we have the laundry room, and for some reason, our laundry room takes debit cards, and the internet was down. So you weren't able to use your debit card for some reason. And we had one student that just kind of just freaked out. She was running out of clothes, and she was just like stressing out, and she was yelling and stuff. And so I explained to her, like, so, in problem solving, you have to remain calm. Let's come up with some tools where we can figure out how we can make this work instead of like going crazy. I explained to her, like, in a job, if something doesn't go your way, you just can't start yelling at people and, demanding stuff, because that's not going to get you anywhere in life. So it's always like a learning lesson in every single task that we do at Hatlen. And I gear it all towards future employment, because the long-term goal that Eric and I have for all of you is that, ideally what we want you guys working and being independent and living on your own. So we try to teach you those skills in every way that we can.
Exactly.
Yeah, OCB and Hatlen, just a small step along that pathway to success. Get you a good solid foundation to take that next step, and you'll keep learning. It's not like you won't leave OCB or Hatlen. You're still going to learn more about computers and learn other skills, build upon the skills that you have, and eventually hopefully get a job or go to college or, take that next step. Keep moving forward.
Forward trajectory.
Excuse me. So do you come to what? OCB or Hatlen? The students come with guide dogs, or have to come here first to get a guide dog? Yes or no?
Do the students come first to, if they want to get a guide dog, would they come to you first, or would they go and get a guide dog after they've been to you? How does that work?
Generally, they would go to either Hatlen or to OCB. For sure, if you're getting a guide dog, you have to have excellent cane skills. And guide dogs won't take you unless you have good cane skills and good mobility skills, because the dog is just a tool, and it is only as good as the person that's instructing the dog. The dog's not a miracle, like doesn't know when to cross the street type thing, or doesn't know when the light's red, or that type of stuff.
And just to go back, we actually have a program with guide dogs down in our LA program. So we actually have, it's like a boot camp. So guide dogs will come to DPI. We have students that stay in the campus on DPI, and then we work side by side with guide dogs, and we do like a boot camp training to prepare you for the dog. Yeah, but Eric's right. You do have to have, really good cane skills. But then, you know, if you wanted to try a program and then, you know, polish up your skills with guide dogs before you get your dog, you can definitely do that down south at my Davidson program. So we do guide dog training on a quarterly basis. So our next one is going to be in June. And then you just contact guide dogs and let them know that you want to do the training, and then they just work with us. And they also provide that training up at the Earl Baum Center, and I believe at the Lighthouse in San Francisco. So yeah, it's a great program. I love working with guide dogs.
And it's the guide dogs in San Rafael that you work with?
Yes, it is.
Even though it's down in LA. Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
That's really cool. So, what are the areas, like the public transportation, like in around Hatlen and around OCB? So in a typical orientation and mobility lesson, what kinds of things would somebody learn?
So OCB, we have a lot of bus lines. San Pablo Avenue actually goes all the way from OCB. If you stay on San Pablo, you would eventually end up out where the Hatlen Center is. So we are a 10-minute walk from the Bart station. It's about a 2-minute bus ride. Student, but you know, a typical from A to Z mobility student at OCB would be basic orientation to the campus, getting their cane skills to the point where they're ready to journey off campus, doing some intersection analysis. You know, you're building up to where you're going to be able to safely cross streets. The more advanced would be the BART and using the bus system to go from point A to point B. Some people, that's appropriate. Other people, they use paratransit is their mode of transportation for getting from point A to point B, because we want to do what's safe for the student. So for some students, paratransit's what's safe. For others, they can do BART and bus, everything that's out there.
Yeah, and ours is very similar too. We do the apartment, and then where you go out, we're on a road called Road 20. Then we'll take them out to Road 20, and that's near Contra Costa College. We'll do the route to college. We do the route to Richmond Bart. But Bart's and buses is more a little bit more advanced. We try to do like the local stuff first on foot, like he said, intersection analysis and all that, and then we move on to the more advanced stuff. Usually when people leave, especially people from down south, their goal is to walk across the Golden Gate Bridge before they leave. So we always make that, if that's your goal to walk across the Golden Gate Bridge, we make that a goal by the end of your time at Hatlen.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. I just think it's great. And both programs are fantastic, and how great you get to experience such a terrific location. I mean, to be able to go and spend, whether it's 3 months or 6 months or whatever in the Bay Area is just a wonderful opportunity. Does anybody have more questions?
Patricia, we haven't heard from you. Did you have a question?
I don't really have any questions, but I really appreciate you coming. I kind of want to go to Hatlen now.
Cool.
Hatlen is.
Yeah, you do what works. What's best for you. That's what we care about.
Wait, how long was the training at Hatlen? A year?
So it depends. It's anywhere from like 6 months to a year. Patricia, are you local? Where are you from?
Sacramento.
Okay. So yeah, have you checked out OCB?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I literally was listening to it right now.
Oh no, but have you toured the program yet?
No, I don't plan to do this until after I graduate college.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, after college.
After, yeah.
Patricia, she's
that's an interesting choice. Yeah.
She's starting Sac State in the fall,
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
incoming
And you've
freshman.
got your computer skills under your belt to be able to do all that.
I use mostly iPhone and Apple products. So like
Oh.
voiceover.
How does that work for editing college papers?
I've never done it. I've never edited a college paper.
Okay.
Before. I'm
All
still
right.
in high school.
All right, I'm going to give you a small piece of advice that if
Please.
you're an adult, I would highly recommend that you go to either OCB or Hatlen prior to going to college. You're going to set yourself up for success exponentially by doing that. If you go to college and you don't have the skills to edit a paper, that's not going to be good.
Mm.
I'm not trying to be
Mhm.
discouraged for you to go to college, but I want you to be successful.
No, because I'm gonna live at home during my time of going to college, so that's why I'm like getting. I'm being recommended by various people to just
Okay.
like hold a little bit and like wait until I finish college and then go to whatever.
So
like,
she's looking at
Okay.
doing AT instruction through society while she's
Okay.
attending classes, but we're hoping to
Okay.
get her into classes this summer.
Yes.
I would have
you
loved to
wanna-
seen her
for
go
sure.
through OCB. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But-
you know, Patricia, the other thing too is like if you wanted, I mean, I know it's a little bit different for OCB, but because there are because there's some holes in the schedule at Hatlen, what some students do is they'll take, like for instance, right now I have a student that's taking 6 units at one of the Cal State schools, but she's doing them remotely, and this way we can kind of help her along the way, like in the during the AT training. So like if she's working with RF and she has an assignment, and we can kind of help her build those skills into her education. So this way we're kind of helping you start the process, and then you're getting the training that you need as far as like care of clothing, O&M and all that stuff, but you're also starting school, because a lot of colleges are still doing remote classes because of COVID.
Yeah.
So just something to think about. I mean, I think Eric has a good point. Like, I know you're going to go to society, but a lot of people that are going to college, they usually do our programs first and then go to college.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I did when I was 18, Patricia. I went to the Living Skills Center. Computers weren't as big back then, but I'm dating myself. but still, it was the same principle. It was, I need to learn those skills before I went off to Sacramento and went to college. I needed to know how to cook and clean for myself and do mobility and all that type of stuff.
Plus, like the one great thing about college, and I always tell my kids personally, is that like college is it's not just an education, it's just a great fun experience. So if you could get the skills under your belt to go and live like in a dorm or an apartment with friends while you're going to school, I mean, that is such a fun experience for people. And it's just it's also great networking too, to live in a dorm.
Right.
So just kind of something to think about.
Can I ask a question?
Mhm.
So to both, do you guys teach exclusively Windows and like JAWS and Fusion? Does anybody teach Mac OS and or VoiceOver for Mac?
So what we strongly, and I'm going to give you a story that someone told me. So our computer instructor does know some of the Mac stuff, but we really, really emphasize Windows, JAWS, Fusion. And it's not because there's anything wrong with Mac and the VoiceOver. It's just in the workforce, that's what people are using. So my boss just shared a story with me. A person went through law school, made it all the way through with a Mac computer, did everything from A to Z, got their law degree, went to try to get a job, didn't have any Windows or JAWS skills, and so they didn't get the job just for that not silly reason. I mean, it was their choice to use the Mac computer. Now, if you're going to work for Apple or you're going to get a job like that, I see that. Sometimes what people will do if their rehab counselors are willing, is they'll get a Mac computer and they call a dual boot, where half of it will be JAWS with Windows and all the JAWS platform Windows stuff, and then the other half will be Mac. The problem with that is trying to be proficient at both of those is quite the challenge. I would say, unless you're just an amazing techie person, which I would say is the rare exception. I'm not saying it can't be done. So yeah, so that's kind of our stance on the Mac computer. We're not anti-Apple or anti-Mac or anything like that. It's just more the whole job college thing.
Makes you more employable.
Yes, exactly.
And you are correct. The standard industry standard is Windows. Yeah, I
can't even imagine going through law school and all that work, and then because I didn't know Windows, and that would just blow. That'd be pretty defeating if I was in those shoes of that person.
I was just going to chime in. My dad is a blind lawyer, 81, still practicing. Yeah. He does not know JAWS. He has to hire employees who are sighted, pay them a lot of money.
Right.
And his overhead is huge. And he has a hard time paying them sometimes, to be frank with you. But he can't access the documents himself. So it's been a real hindrance over these last 40 years of him practicing law and not learning JAWS. Right. So it's been upsetting to watch that as his daughter, because he could be so much more independent. And then he relies on these people, and some of them are not very trustworthy, but he can't, double check their work or anything. And so his quality of work is really compromised by who he hires. He has to fully trust them. And a lot of times they're kind of dodos. They do stuff that will get his clients in trouble because they don't know any better. And he can't double check the documents before they leave his office. And the second thing I wanted to comment is Richard Rueda and I work together a lot in different projects. And he is finding what I'm finding. There's a lot of people that are college students and they don't know how to operate a computer. They only know Apple products and VoiceOver. And
mobile devices.
They're really struggling in college.
We see that all the time. Exactly.
Yeah. And it's something... Yeah, we felt so strongly about it. We actually pulled her daughter out of local school district and put her at CSB, California School for the Blind, because we felt like they were going to be able to teach her that technology, whereas the school district was clueless about that technology. And we know it's really important. If she's going to be employable, she's got to start learning it, and she can't start learning it, 18, 19, 20, and have a timeline that's going to make sense. She needs to learn it by, 12, 13, 14. She's 14 now, going on 15.
Right.
So, but we saw that coming and went, this is going to not be good.
No, and I'm very Apple. I'm pro Apple, but it's a tool for certain things. It's not a tool for turning in a polished college paper or high school paper using VoiceOver or sending a professional email by, using VoiceOver. I'm not saying, there are some people that are really, really super good at it and take a lot of time to.
If it says sent from my iPhone on the bottom.
Yeah, exactly.
Not good.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, there is needing to know how to use a PC, and for the workforce, it's going to be standard.
Well, and the iPhone's an amazing tool, and I see why everybody's fallen in love with it, because it's a great tool. It does a lot of things that make us more independent.
Randy, are you already working?
Oh, Randy,
am I working?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Why did you? I don't know people. Why did you ask about the Mac versus PC?
Because I teach both platforms. Now we're just curious. Yeah.
Yeah. At Hatlen, we actually do both also. Yeah.
So we have a lot of students who they want to just learn Mac, and we have to try to instruct them to learn both. And it's tough sell.
Thank you.
I wanted to make a comment. I can't remember who said it, but they were saying that you could do like a dual boot with like Mac and Windows.
It's called Boot Camp.
Yeah, I do know
Yeah.
about that. It just kind of sucks that you can't do that nowadays with the new M1 chips.
Oh, that's no longer, that's obsolete.
No, you can't because they're ARM chips, and Windows hasn't like released an ARM build of it
Gotcha.
for their
Yeah.
devices.
So
Yeah, I heard
eventually,
about that.
I
There's
never had
also a
the
some people.
multitask.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I just never had the multitasking to actually be able to juggle both. Sorry, Randy, what were you saying?
There is VMware, so you can run Mac OS inside of a virtual, or excuse me, Windows inside of a virtual machine. But it's like, what's the point? You know what I mean? It's now you're running you're running an operating system within another operating system, so you're really killing the resources. Boot camp's great, but it's not a bad idea to have an actual Windows machine as well. I have both, but Windows is a lot more. One of the big things with Windows is, or JAWS or Narrator, is you don't have to do interaction like you do with VoiceOver. So VoiceOver on a Mac has a couple extra steps just to get into like a table or scroll area or HTML content. So, and like you guys said, Windows seems to be more mainstream out there for employment in most cases. Yeah. Sorry, I'm rambling.
No.
No.
I want to learn how to use the Mac computer, but maybe when I retire. I don't want to scramble my jaws.
I wanted to make two, maybe three comments.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I since we're on the topic of Mac, eventually in the near future, I do want to like try out a Mac or like try out like the Mac accessibility stuff. It's just, getting a Mac is kind of like, isn't the cheapest. So I'm thinking of doing like a virtual machine just to see how. Some people say VoiceOver is bad. Some people say it's good. I want to see where I stand like with it, but that'll be something for another day. The next thing I wanted to say was NVDA, the free screen reader. Would you say that's another good alternative? I personally use that more than JAWS or, Microsoft's narrator.
Now, do you use it because it's free or you use it because preference?
I use it because of preference.
Okay.
I use it because of preference.
They have a pretty good online support. Also, I'm kind of into audio production, and they have full scripting for like Reaper. So JAWS has its advantages, but yeah, I use it as a backup.
Yeah, I've been using NVDA for the past 3 years, and I really do like it. I prefer it in many ways.
So at OCB or at Hatlen, do any of the instructors know NVDA? I myself don't know NVDA.
Ours, she knows the basic of it, but she teaches JAWS. Yeah,
okay.
we get some folks that know NVDA really well. And I would do it too if I didn't have JAWS on a computer. It's free for sure. I've heard good things about it. I've heard it does some things a little better than JAWS. From some of the more advanced users, but JAWS does some better things in other environments.
Yeah, and Hatlen RF knows it, and so does the staff down at DPI down south. They know both.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Good. This is great information. So, and one more question at OCB. So, I obviously at Hatlen, participants would learn like budgeting and that kind of thing. Does Teresa in living skills, does she cover things like budgeting and that kind of stuff?
It ends up happening between mobility and Teresa they'll do some basic budgeting stuff. The mobility teachers do much more of the money management because they're with students out and about and going to the bank and doing different things. Yeah, so we don't cover it as intense as Hatlen Center. Hatlen Center, it becomes a priority if you're paying bills and stuff. you need to. So we do cover the concepts of paying bills and all that stuff, but we don't get into it as detailed as Hatlen Center.
Okay. Awesome.
I think these are all really good questions. They all like bounce off of each other. Most
I
are
have a question.
technology, but still.
Mm-hmm.
So Eric, I don't know if you remember, my TVI is an intern, Sharon Genneman Wilson. She worked for you guys 6 years ago.
Okay.
I've heard lots of good stuff about you guys, and
Okay.
I was wondering, what transportation options do you guys offer? Because she says that you guys used to offer free BART tickets and bus passes.
So the mobility department does have some free tickets. We get people signed up though for the Clipper card when they come to the program, and the Clipper card gets you a discount on the bus. It gets you a discount on BART. It's also your ID that proves you're disabled. It gets you, a lot of other little perks as well. But yeah, we do have bus passes, and we have some BART cards and each student who comes, their rehab counselor provides $100 per month stipend to go towards any of the school related activities. So that could be mobility, it could be buying some stuff for the cooking class, and they also purchase all of their necessary equipment for OCB, so laptop, Victor reader, SD cards, flash drives, all the stuff that they need for the training the rehab counselors purchase prior to them coming into our program.
Yeah, I'm fine with spending a little bit of money, but I was just curious about that because a free bus passes and BART tickets, that's an offer that you cannot refuse.
Of course, freebies are always good, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And Eric, I'm guessing that there's no longer a sewing class anymore.
No, there's no longer sewing, and I think when you were there was the wood shop teacher was there.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's no longer.
What'd they do at the area we're sewing and we're in the shop?
So sewing is essentially the cooking classroom area, as well as DLS kind of shares that area as well. The shop is storage space.
Okay.
With a lot of awesome tools in there that I wish I had.
The tools are all. Oh, my husband will be interested to know the tools are still there.
Yeah.
So if someone needs to learn sewing, like we do basic like sewing buttons or hemming something, we'll teach that during our living skills for sure.
That's what we do too. Just the basics.
Cool.
So if some people come there, they're already, advanced in that stuff. Teresa will do a little more advanced, knitting type stuff. But yeah, sewing a button on, hemming, she'll do she took over that part of the sewing class. Yeah.
Oh, good. I've got students that'll be really happy to hear that both of you teach those skills. Yeah.
Good skill. Awesome. Good skill to have. Yeah.
Definitely. Good stuff. And I've heard great things about your gym, Eric.
Yeah, it really is a quality gym. They do good. It's not cheap equipment. They put some good solid equipment.
I'd like
in there
to come out and tour both locations, actually.
Yeah, you should. Yeah.
I've never been actually out to Hatlen. I really want to come out and check that out.
So if you're coming from are you in Sacramento, Brandy? You live in
I'm in Sacramento.
Oh yeah.
So maybe I can get some of these guys to want to come out and
that'd be great. Set it up to where you, like Julie was saying, either come OCB first or Hatlen first, however we want to schedule that. And that'd be
Capital
great.
Corridor, guys.
Yeah.
Eric, I'm curious about your gym. So do you have adaptive PE folks helping students to learn how to use the equipment, or how does that work?
So the mobility teachers, they teach all this their individual students. So they show them how to. They kind of have to be shown and cleared before they can use it independently. We don't want them just going in there and not knowing how to use the equipment.
And
And
then
they may,
we don't really have, we don't have a gym at Hatlen, but we do have, I believe it's Planet Fitness that's down the street, and it's really cheap for the students. I think it's like $10 a month. And so a lot of students have signed up for that gym. And like Eric said, our O&Ms will take them down there and kind of orient them to the gym and get them kind of used to using the gym and the equipment in the gym. So the kids love going down there. It's great experience for them.
that's great. And either experience, guys, is really fantastic, because learning to cohabitate with other people is really important, whether it's in a dorm setting or whether it's in an apartment setting, because living with somebody other than a sibling or a family member is way different.
Does either organization offer like a music group or some kind of program or something that's creative or performing arts?
So we have piano at our facility, and really it's kind of student driven. So if someone wants to go in and play the piano, they're more than welcome to. Yeah, so we don't have a structured program for that, but they are for sure welcome to use. Sometimes people will go down to the gym and, bring their guitar down there, whatever they may do, or they'll bring their guitar to the program.
Okay. So they have a place.
Yeah, we can set them up in a place where they can play. I mean, now we don't encourage someone to bring their drum set and be rocking out in the dorms, but
Sorry, Randy, you got to leave your drums at home. Although Jimmy did take his full stereo and did set his full stereo up into room 7 upstairs.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
That was my husband. I met my husband at OCB.
Oh, okay.
As far as Hatlen goes, we're actually really big on music. Arif, who's our tech instructor, he loves music and he loves teaching music. So he's the type of guy where, he definitely plays guitar and piano, but if you decide that if you're a student and you want to come and learn an instrument, Arif will learn that instrument with you, and you guys, he'll teach it to you guys. The other thing that we do is every other Friday we have jam sessions. So we'll meet in the tech lab, and basically anybody who wants to have a jam session, they can bring their instrument and they have a little jam session. A lot of times too, there's Kennedy Grove, and we'll go up there and do barbecues. And so people will bring their instruments up there, and we'll have jam sessions in the park and have a barbecue. So we are very big on music. You come to you have to go to our programs with a vocational goal in mind, but sometimes music is involved, but music is just a good thing in general. So we definitely encourage music, or if people, we have for some reason, we have a very talented group of people that can come to Hatlen and sing. So we do a lot of talent shows, and a lot of the talent shows are based on instruments and singing. And we have amazing, talented people that end up leaving Hatlen later. So we are very big on music. It's not well known. It's like a little secret that we have, but we're big on music at Hatlen.
That's cool.
Cool. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, we used to have a choir at OCB when I was there that met where the piano actually is. It was pretty fun.
Like I said in the chat, I'm sorry, when Eric was talking, I put it in there. I shouldn't have done that. Sorry, Eric. But I did put the Hatlen website, and it's basically, or the application. It's like a 5-minute application. It does not lock you into anything. It simply just puts your name on a list and your contact info. And usually when people do that, I'll call them and I try to encourage, like Eric said, I definitely try to encourage people to look at both programs, especially there's certain counselors that it's very necessary for them for that you look at both programs. And so basically the form online that if you fill it out for Hatlen, is just to put your name on the list. Like I said, there's a slight waiting list. But it's just your contact info and you're not locked into anything. But I just wanted to put it out there that I did put that in the chat area.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And Brandy, you can share my contact information with people if they want to get more information.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I will.
Set up
For
a
sure.
tour or anything like that. Yeah.
How far in advance should people reach out to you? Like how long typically is the wait list? 3 months, 6 months?
So for OCB, the biggest thing is we have a medical clearance form that the students need to fill out. So that usually slows up the process the most, is because people don't take care of that piece of the equation. So generally, so right now our summer session starts on July 5th. I think we have one slot available left. September, there is availability in the September slot. So I always encourage people, just if you are interested, just get the medical clearance portion going. That doesn't even mean you have to come to the program, but at least you have that out of the way. Your rehab counselor would be the person that would fill out an applicant referral form after they talk with you, if OCB is what you decided to do. But like I'm saying, it moves the process along.
Yeah, and that's kind of the same for us. We have medical clearance that we need to get. And like I said, we have vaccination records that we need to get. But for the most part, the process for us would be, if you decide that maybe Hatlen is, or DPI is a program that you're interested in, you would fill out the online application, get the necessary paperwork in, the consent of release. And then what will Hatlen and DPI does is that we'll call you guys and we'll do it over the phone interview. And then we vote and see if it's a good fit. And then from there, we'll notify your counselor that you guys, we notify your counselor from the beginning that you applied at the programs. And then it usually takes, like, we want to give your counselor at least a month notice before you come. I definitely have some students that applied, in April, and they're coming in September. So that's way more than enough time for people who are like just graduating from high school. But, to be nice to DOR counselors, I mean, they say they can do it in 2 weeks, but they rather have like a month notice to get the authorization in place. So it is a little bit time consuming, but once you start the process, it goes pretty fast.
Cool. Very good to know. Well, thank you both. Anybody have any questions? Any more questions?
Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
So this question is from the counselors at my high school. So I recently got a scholarship yesterday. And thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I can't claim it without showing proof that I enrolled in a college. Does OCB count as a college, or is there a way that DOR can hold those funds until I go to college or anything?
So OCB would not count as a college. Yeah.
Do you know if DOR could hold the funds?
Hold the funds for
the scholarship?
That I'm not sure. I would talk to your counselor, your rehab counselor on that. Yeah.
Okay, I'll talk to her.
Yeah.
Pavel, what is the scholarship? What is it? Who's it from?
The Rotary Club. I got a vocational scholarship.
Oh, okay. I mean, I think too, because I've dealt with this before. I mean, if you tell them that you're going through a training process, they'll usually honor that and let you hold on until you're done with either OCB or Hatlen.
Okay, I'll let them know.
Especially if you have an acceptance for the fall, because you're not going to start your college in the summer anyway.
Right. Thank you.
And I might
Actually,
explain
oh,
to
sorry.
them that this is to help you be successful in college. So that it's like a precursor, because I think a lot of people who aren't blind or vision impaired don't get how important that is to be able to have that higher level of independence at college and do well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me know if you
we could
need.
give you a letter, or Julie could
Yeah.
give you a letter, whatever program you go to. If you need something official,
Exactly.
we could give you something that would suffice.
That's what I was just thinking too.
Yeah.
Is that if you needed Eric or Julie or me or anybody to write you any kind of letter stating as much.
Yeah,
Really...
I'll let them know. I should be meeting with them tomorrow.
Okay.
If things go well.
I have a question. Is there like an age cutoff for any of these groups, or I mean, I'm assuming there is, but like,
So
do you guys have like a
yeah,
yeah,
OCB, you have to be at least 18, but there is no like cutoff after that. You have to be minimum of 18 years old.
Yeah, and that's the same
And
with
I
Hatlen.
really interesting.
Yeah, we
Okay, I
actually had
thought
a
I
student
remember hearing somewhere.
like they made
Oh,
an
sorry,
exception
go
or
ahead.
something, or did they make an? Yeah,
No, I
we
thought I heard somewhere. Sorry.
like what?
I
What
thought I
you heard?
remember
What?
hearing somewhere like there was an exception that the cutoff was like 22 or something. I could be hearing
You
that
might be thinking of
wrong, but
CSB. CSB, I think there's a cutoff age for CSB. Once you're beyond 22, I think.
But if you're
That's
younger than 18 and you want to do a program, there's my program that I'm doing at Cal State LA, the RAP program, and that's 16 to 24-year-olds.
Interesting. Okay.
So do you ever get folks that are like in their 40s?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yep, me too.
Oh, okay.
50s, 60s, yeah.
Okay.
And then also, just to put it out there, because I know that there's some instructors on the line, we also partner, at Hatlen. I think it's been known that, in order to go to Hatlen, you have to have really high skills already. But I've changed that a little bit because there's so many folks out there with dual disabilities that we actually, we have taken people that also are regional center clients and also DOR clients. And it's a great partnership, and it worked out really well. I come from the regional center world. And so for people that might need more support after they leave a program like OCB or Hatlen, what I can do is I can get people lined up with an ILS agency that could come in and kind of support them. I'm talking for people who might have more of a developmental disability that needs a little bit more support while living on their own. And so the folks that have come to Hatlen, if you need more support after you leave Hatlen, I try to incorporate that about 2 to 3 months prior to leaving Hatlen, and we'll have regional center come in. They'll have an ILS agency come in. Most ILS independent living skills agencies, they're used to working mostly just with the DD population, and they don't have a whole lot of experience working with visually impaired. So what we've done is we've partnered with a couple different ILS agencies, and we'll teach the ILS staff how to work with people with visual impairments with like basic living skills. And so I just want to put it out there that, we take all different types of levels at Hatlen and at DPI right now.
Oh, that's great.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Terrific. So much great information. Awesome. Any more questions?
I'm probably not gonna do one of these immediately due to like some medical issues and like some personal stuff. But I'm thinking of like doing one of these in maybe like a year to year and a half. So this is it's good information to have on record. That way, when I feel like it's time, I can, do it.
Yeah, you got to make an informed choice, about the different programs. The more you learn about that's out there, the more power you have to make the right decision for yourself.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's never too early to start planning.
Definitely. I can definitely agree with that.
Any last thoughts? Nope. All right. Well, well, thank you, Eric and Julie. Appreciate it so much.
Well, no, thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
This has been
Thank
fantastic.
you very much.
Yeah.
And hopefully you will see us soon coming out for a tour.
Definitely. Thanks a
We'll
lot.
come and visit both of you.
Yeah, thank you. You know what? I've been wanting to do this because Eric and we should probably work a little bit more together.
Yeah.
You guys should. If you guys are willing to do this again, I would love to have Randy and I would love to have you come out and talk to our adult students, our core students, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, no, I would love to.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, so and I'm willing to come up and talk in person. I love taking the train up to SAC. So, yeah, let me know.
That would be great. Yeah, because we have our adult students who would really love to hear all of this information too.
And Brandy, if you come on up for a tour to either of the sites, I would love to know when that is because we'd like to come meet you. We've never been able to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What do you think, Randy? Road trip?
Absolutely. I'm thinking
trip.
about hosting something out in the big annex too.
Yeah, I think so. That would be so cool. We have a big, beautiful section of the building that we want to invite everybody at. Well, thank you. We like to end each workshop with what we call our hashtags. It's just our closing hashtag for the night. Mine is hashtag get away. Hashtag go away for learning.
Hashtag budgeting.
I like it. I like it. Maybe
hashtag independence.
Yeah.
Hashtag I don't know which learning center I want to go to.
That's all right.
Hashtag Hatlen takes regional center clients.
I like that one.
Hashtag great getting to know everybody and giving you lots of helpful, hopefully useful information for your future.
Very useful.
Yeah.
Hashtag independence.
Yeah. Hashtag Bay Area. I grew up in Pleasanton. What can I say? I'm an East Bay kid. All right. Well, I guess if nobody else has anything to say, that's a wrap, folks.
All right. Thanks, Brandy.
Thank you. Have a great night, everyone.
Take care.
Everybody have a great night. Thanks so much.